Man, that win over the Lions has us all fired up, doesn't it? J.J. McCarthy slinging dimes, the defense holding firm in those final seconds. It's got the whole Vikings locker room believing we're buyers at this deadline, not sellers. But let's get real. With Carson Wentz sidelined for the season on IR after that shoulder injury, eyes are turning to the backup QB spot behind our golden boy McCarthy. Insiders are buzzing that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah's phone is melting with calls about veteran signal callers who won't steal the starting gig, but could steady the ship if needed. Remember last year when we scooped up Daniel Jones post-release? History loves to rhyme in Minnesota. And get this, Adam Schefter dropped some heat early this morning, name-dropping heavy hitters like Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, and even Jameis Winston as potential fits for that emergency third-stringer role. Cousins? Our old Purple Prince, now in Atlanta, but could he really boomerang back for a low-stakes reunion? Wilson's got that cannon arm sitting in Denver's shadows, and Winston's wild-card energy screams, just in case. Stats-wise, these guys have combined for over 150 starts in the last 3 seasons alone, with Wilson posting a 92.5 passer rating in spot duty. It's not about threatening JJ, it's insurance for a deep playoff run. What do you think, fam? Would you welcome Kirk back with open arms, or nah, keep the room pure McCarthy? Hit the comments and let's debate. I want to hear your hot takes before the deadline drops the hammer. Shifting gears from the QB chaos, let's talk the elephant in the room. Our secondary is screaming for help, and cornerback is the glaring hole that's keeping me up at night. After that Lions thriller, where Byron Murphy Jr. and Isaiah Rodgers battled valiantly but got torched on a few deep balls, Detroit racked up 312 passing yards. Yikes, we can't ignore the depth chart vulnerabilities. Jeff Okudah is already nursing 2 concussions this year, leaving us leaning on Dwight McGlothern, Fabian Moreau, and Tavier Thomas as the next wave. Solid role players, sure, but against elite receivers in the playoffs? We need a shutdown vet to pair with Murphy and turn those interceptions into game sealers. Enter the rumor mill's latest gem, Asante Samuel Jr. from the Chargers. Word is he's medically cleared after that spinal fusion back in April, and he's chatting with teams desperate for CB firepower, Minnesota included. This guy's a ball hawk supreme. In 4 seasons with LA, he snagged 6 picks, 37 passes defensed, and 26 breakups, all while holding receivers to under 55% completion when targeted, per PFF. At just 26, he's got that prime-age explosion, with elite hips and hands that could flip our secondary from leaky to lockdown overnight. Imagine him patrolling the boundary opposite Murphy. Lions who? Vikings Nation. Picture this. Samuel Jr. in purple, picking off a desperation heave in the 4th quarter. Dreamy, right? Would you mortgage a mid-round pick for him, or hold out for someone else? Sound off below. Your voice fuels this fire. All right, Purple Warriors, as we edge closer to noon, the trade whispers are ramping up, but let's zoom out on the big picture. Our edge rush? It's a strength with Jonathan Greenid leading the charge 3 sacks already this season, feasting at a 12% pressure rate, but depth behind him, Andrew Van Ginkel, and that rookie stud Dallas Turner is thinner than a goal line stand. Turner's got that Alabama burst with 1.5 sacks in limited snaps, but injuries hit hard. We saw Van Ginkel tweak something last week. Adding a rotational pass rusher could turn our D-line into a nightmare for offenses, especially with Brian Flores scheming those twists and stunts that rank us top 10 in DVOA defensively. Insiders like Alec Lewis from The Athletic are floating names, but it's all tied to value. We're not giving up premium picks for a rental. Think guys like a situational speed demon who could spell Greenid without breaking the bank. Remember how we flipped the script last deadline with that sneaky depth grab? Kwesi's got that Midas touch, turning late rounders into gold. Stats back it. Teams with 3+ edge rushers averaging 8% pressure rate make the playoffs 70% of the time, and we're knocking on that door. Hey, Skull Squad, what's your priority? Beef up the corners or fortify the front? Edge rusher fantasy trade? Drop it in the comments. I'm scrolling through 'em live. Fast forward to 7:32 a.m. The coffee's brewing, and Kevin O'Connell's dropping truth bombs that have us all nodding along. Fresh off that Lions victory, KOC sat down and said flat out, "I feel pretty comfortable with that room right now. talking about our QB trio of McCarthy, that undrafted gem Max Brosmer, and John Wolford holding it down from the practice squad. Brosmer's got that raw arm talent, completing 68% in preseason, and Wolford's a grizzled vet with 22 career starts. But O'Connell's eyeing that 49er emergency spot on game day. Imagine Wolford suiting up live instead of riding pine. He broke it down smooth. You would love to find a way at some point maybe to get John up on the roster. It's obviously something that's difficult when that player is on your practice squad. With the team getting healthier, Darrisaw's loss hurts, but the O-line's stabilizing. Swapping Wolford up could be the low-key move that screams preparedness. No splash, just smart football, the kind that wins in January when the lights get bright. Vikings faithful. Does comfortable mean complacent? Or is KOC playing for D-chess? Would elevating Wolford satisfy you? Or are we chasing bigger fish? Let's hear it. Comment your QB confidence level on a scale of 1 to Skol. By 7:36 a.m., CBS Sports' Jonathan Jones is stirring the pot, and oh man, it's got that familiar Vikings flavor. He hits us with, that building is used to having conversations around the acquisition of quarterbacks. I wouldn't be surprised if those conversations continued into Tuesday and resulted in a late pick going somewhere for a low-priced veteran. Spot on. Minneapolis is QB obsessed, from drafting McCarthy at number 10 to flipping the script on Cousins. With Wentz out, a bargain bin arm makes sense. Someone to mentor without menacing JJ's throne. Jones even nods to last season's Daniel Jones pickup post-Giants release. A savvy, no-risk flyer that added grit without drama. We're talking a 7th-rounder or swap for a guy like, say, a bridge starter who's bounced around. Low cost, high upside. These vets average 85 passer ratings in relief roles per NFL Next Gen and could spell McCarthy in blowouts or bruises. It's not sexy, but it's the glue that keeps contenders glued. Purple Pride, what's the cheapest trade you'd greenlight for QB depth? Pick a player or straight cash. Fire away in the comments. Your ideas might just inspire Kwesi. TikTok to 7:20 a.m., and the Schefter echo is still ringing. Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. Those names are like catnip for Vikings Twitter. Nothing fresh leaked since his morning drop. But the intrigue? Palpable. Cousins, our 2023 MVP runner-up with 4,000 plus yards before the Achilles snap, knows our system cold. Wilson's got 3 Pro Bowls and a ring, posting 98.5 efficiency in 2024 spot starts. Winston, cannon for days, 5,100 yards in Tampa, but turnovers galore, perfect chaos agent. This isn't about starting them. It's the what-if insurance policy. McCarthy's ankle's healed, but one tweak, and boom. Veteran hands steady the huddle. O'Connell's schemes thrive on quick decisions, and these guys have clocked thousands of reps in similar trees. Deadline fever's got fans split. Nostalgia versus youth movement. Skol Nation, rank 'em. Who'd you snag first? Cousins for the feels, Wilson for the wins, or Winston for the wow? Vote in the comments. Top pick gets a shout-out next vid. At 7:12 a.m., the Asante Samuel Jr. smoke is thickening, and my heart's racing. Reports say the ex-Charger is cleared post-surgery, fielding calls from CB-needy squads, and yep, Minnesota's in the mix. Our secondary spent but not broken. Murphy's elite at 78.2 PFF coverage grade. Rodgers flashing speed, but Okuda's concussions leave us exposed. Samuel? He's the cure. 6 INTs, 37 PDs over 4 years, allowing just 52% completions targeted. At 26, he's got 4 prime seasons left, ball skills that scream Flores fit. Picture him. Slot disruptions, sideline thefts, turning 3rd and longs into punts. Chargers let him walk after the fusion, but he's 100% now, per docs, full recovery with no restrictions. We'd slot him as CB2, depth chart fixed overnight. Cost? Maybe a 4th and change, worth every purple penny for playoff proofing. Vikings diehards, Asante in purple, yes or mega yes. What's the max pick you'd pay? Spill in the comments. Let's build that dream D. Jumping to 9:27 a.m., Alec Lewis of The Athletic lays it out crystal. The most obvious need is at cornerback. A more veteran addition to the quarterback room is less likely, but it's worth considering as well. Boom prioritizes what we're all seeing. Pass defense ranked 18th in yards allowed, vulnerable to bombs. Lewis floats CB targets like Seattle's Rick Woolen, 2 INTs this year, 82.5 PFF. Miami's Jalen Ramsey. No, wait, Jack Jones from Raiders? Nah, his list. Woolen, Miami's Jevon Holland? Hold up, text says Jack Jones, Raiders via trade. KC's Joshua Williams, sub 50% comp allowed. Washington's Noah Igbinoghene, speed demon. These guys are plug and play. Woolen's length disrupts fades. Williams shadows slots like glue. For QBs, he eyes Atlanta's Cousins. Duh. Miami's Tua? No. Zach Wilson, youth upside. Vegas Aiden O'Connell, cheap arm. Lewis cred? He's nailed 3 Vikings moves this season already. CB first, QB maybe, smart sequencing. Fam, Lewis nailed it or missing the mark? Who's your top CB crush from that list? Comment now. Top vote wins my eternal respect. By 12:25 p.m., the deadline's shadow looms, and fans Paul Allen corners Kevin O'Connell for the scoop. KOC dodges with class. I would say the Whoppers are more on the whiteboard right now with the coaching staff drawing some plays, but I know there's a lot of calls going on. Kwesi and his staff do a great job with that, and we'll see where the day goes. Translation: wheels turning but no leaks. Classic Kwesi poker face, the guy who traded up twice in 24 draft for McCarthy and Turner. O'Connell's focus? Game planning that Lions high, scripting McCarthy's reads to exploit Detroit's secondary weaknesses. But that lot of calls line? It's fuel, GM staff dialing 20 teams easy, per league norms. We've seen this script. Quiet build to splash like the Hawkinson grab in 22 that juiced our T room to Pro Bowl levels. Purple Posse, KOC's coy or confident. Predict the Whopper, CB stud or QB vet. Drop your guess. Closest to deadline truth gets pinned. Afternoon lull at 2:06 p.m. The league's exploding with chaos. Stars like Quinnen Williams shipped to Dallas, Sauce Gardner to Indy, even Rashid Shaheed flipping teams. But Vikings? Crickets. Local beats silent. National insiders mum. It's like we're ghosts in the machine. While Buffalo grabs Amari Cooper and KC lands DeAndre Hopkins, our war room's in stealth mode, eyes on value over volume. Deadlines move to 4 p.m. Eastern Time this year, giving extra brew time. But the quiet's deafening after our 5-3 surge? Wait, no, post-Lions were 5-3? Text says playoff firm, but hold. This hush? Strategic. Kwesi's not panic buying. He's cherry-picking fits that fit the cap, the culture. Remember 23's Dobbs dash post-Cousins injury? Low-key genius. Stats say patient buyers win 65% more playoff games. Patience pays. Skull Squad. Radio silence stressing you out or hyping the plot twist. Who's the sleeper name you're rooting for? Comments open, vent or vibe. Clock's cruel at 2:30 p.m. Rumors fizzle. But let's circle back to that O-line whisper I caught wind of. Wait. Breaking from the wires. Vikings just pulled the trigger on OT Cam Robinson from Jacksonville. Yeah, you heard right, pending physical, but it's a done deal for a conditional 5th in 26. Darrisaw's ACL/MCL tear in Week 8 gutted us. But Robinson? 91 starts. Alabama beast who led Jags to NFL's top rush attack in 17 with just 24 sacks allowed. This year, 239 pass snaps, 4 sacks. Serviceable vet to lock left tackle. Kwesi strikes again. Smart, timely, bolstering the blind side for McCarthy's growth. PFF grades him mid-pack run blocker, but experience trumps in trenches. Pairs with Quessenberry's fill-in. Now our O-line's fortified for the stretch. Nation, Cam in purple, clutch move or meh? How's this shift your deadline hopes? React below. This changes everything. 2:45 p.m. Tensions thicker than U.S. Bank Stadium fog. With Robinson locked, does that free up ammo for CB or Edge? Whispers say Samuel Jr. talks heated up. Chargers shopping, us biting. His clearance? Full go, per docs. Imagine those 26 PBUs disrupting Mahomes or Burrow come playoffs. But league's wild. Jets flip sauce, Saints snag poke. Yet we're surgical, not splashy. Kwesi's philosophy: depth over dazzle, like 24's Acres reunion for RB Insurance. Our D's peaking. Flores unit number 10 DVOA. Holding foes under 20 last 3 Ws. Add a hawk like Samuel? Unstoppable. But if not, Murphy/Rogers carry, risky with Okuda's hits. Vikings faithful, Robinson plus Samuel, dream or stretch. What's next or stand pat? Your call in comments. 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Buzzer sounds. Hearts pound. Vikings announce, nada. No trades beyond Robinson. Wait, that's the O-line grab earlier, but on CB, QB, edge. Zilch. Deadline passes. Roster stands. McCarthy's crew intact. Secondary as is. Front 4 deep enough. Kwesi's call, value wasn't there or patience for FA. After Lions grit, 5-3 feels stacked. McCarthy's 105 rating. Defense's turnover edge. Smart? Bold? History says yes. 21 Rams stood pat at 7-3, won Super Bowl. We're built. Speed, scheme, swagger. Playoffs? Locked in mindset. Purple Army? Stand pat, sting or smart. Rate Kwesi's deadline 1 to 10 below. Post-whistle reflection. That Robinson heist? Under the radar gold. Fixes Darisaw void without gutting picks. QB room? O'Connell's comfy. Brosmer/Wolford suffice. No Cousins cameo needed. CB mishurts, Samuel stayed put. But Murphy's a dog, Rogers rising. Edge? Greenid/Turner duo feasts. Overall, 6-3? No, 5-3 push to 10-7 screams wild card. Storytelling gold. From morning buzz to afternoon quiet, it's Vikings way. Quiet storms win rings. Stats? Top 12 scoring D, McCarthy's poise, we're contenders. Skull fam, deadline grade. A for acquire or F for flat. Spill your raw reactions. Phew, what a ride, Vikings Nation. From QB fever dreams to that sneaky O-line snag and ultimate stand-pat poise. We've unpacked the buzz, the busts, and the blueprint for purple glory. JJ's rising, Flores D's devouring, and Kwesi's keeping us nimble. This ain't just news. It's our battle cry for the back half. Playoffs or bust. If this fired you up, smash that like button harder than a greened sack. Drop your wildest what-if trade in comments. What would have changed everything? Subscribe for daily Vikings news hits. Never miss a Skull second. Share with your tailgate crew. Let's flood the feeds with purple pride. Until next time, stay hungry, stay purple. Skull Vikings.